Today we're going to rank every single event that's ever happened in Clash of Clans, talk about what made them great, what made them bad, and what events we can see coming in the future. Like every great YouTube channel, we're going to be ranking the events on a tier list, and we're going to start off with the Clash-O-Ween event from last year, the first ever real event in game, and this obviously has to go in S tier, but it does have an advantage over its rivals. And why is that? Well, this was the only event that happened at Town Hall 15, and Town Hall 15 is known for being extremely difficult, and really the only time you could 3-star consistently all year was during the Clash-O-Ween event, and that's why it was really well liked. It wasn't everything else that was done with the event that made it amazing, it was that the rest of the game was so difficult that this event gave people an incentive to play rather than just spam your troops and get 2 stars. And as you can see here, the Lava Loon was extremely popular, destroying the cores of bases, and I loved this event. It was just such a cool idea from Supercell, so definitely putting it in S tier. Next up, we have the Cookie Rumble event that came essentially over the Christmas period, and I did enjoy this event. Unfortunately, I was away during a lot of it, so I didn't play it much, but for me, this goes in B tier. Now, why B tier? Well, we'll start with what the event did well. I like that it wasn't just troops. We also got the Frostmite spell that you see here. It was extremely strong, probably the best spell we've had in any of the events, aside from the Santa spell, but that's a bit ridiculous. But what I didn't love was the troop. I know a lot of you like the cookie, and I'm trying to be objective with this list. This isn't just my personal opinion. So I know a lot of you like the cookie, but I didn't. It's just a little bit ridiculous, a troop that can one-hit everything, and it paired so perfectly with the recently introduced Root Riders. But honestly, one of the biggest things that worked against this event for me was it happened over the Christmas period. So I know I was away a lot of Christmas, and I didn't really get to play with this event much. I just kind of played to get the new hero equipment that came with the event, the giant gauntlet. Aside from that, I didn't have the time to play it, and that makes it difficult to enjoy. Next up, we have the Lunar New Year event, and I'm really sorry guys, this has to go in D tier for me. Now, why D tier? Because the troops weren't really that used at all. So we got the Azure Dragon here. It's a fun troop. I did like it. You're going to see it do an insane funnel here on a Town Hall 12 hit. It is good, but across the board, the game had gotten remarkably easier with the drop of Town Hall 16 at every single Town Hall level. So why would you use a troop like this that's so much troop space, and it's a little unreliable with its pathing when you can use dragons, E-dragons, and Root Riders at the high levels were all better options than this. And that was the problem with making the hit rate in the game so much higher. It's that you can't make it any real higher with event troops, so why would you use them? The Firecracker was a cool idea, but it's a support troop, right? And it's not meant to be broken. It's not meant to be the reason the event is fun. That was meant to be the Azure Dragon here, and whilst it looks amazing, I love the look of it and I like the mechanic, it just really wasn't used that much game-wide, and so this has to go in D tier for me. Next up, we have the Streak event, which ran not once, but twice this year. I believe the first one was in April, and then we had one a couple of months ago, and I'm gonna put this barely in C tier. The reason I put this in C tier is the idea was really cool. Incentivizing daily gameplay, we're gonna add more to your star bonus, and no complaints with that here, but the problems with it, there were so many glitches. For such a simple event, so many of you got stuck on certain days and couldn't progress forward, which is stupid. The streak bonus did not affect ores from memory, which is annoying. And the end goal for completing the event was only 3,000 shiny ore, which really wasn't that useful at all. At the time, we all needed glowy and starry ore instead. Next up, we have the Haaland event, and this is one of my favorite events ever. I loved it. I would put it in S tier, but I'm trying to do this on behalf of all of you, so it's going to go in B tier behind the Cookie Rumble. I love the troop mechanics with this event. So you can see I used the Haaland there to snipe off a defense, and then the Giant Thrower was heaps of fun. The Giant Thrower is actually probably my favorite event troop of all time. But this event suffers kind of the same as the Lunar New Year event did. all the other normal attack strategies in the game are super strong. Root Rider spam at this point is still unbelievably strong at the higher levels, and at the lower levels, Dragon spam is still crazy, as is Super Witch Fireball is kind of taking off at this point. So why would you use these new event troops like the Giant Thrower here, which takes a bit of skill to use? Why would you bother doing that when you can get the exact same results with regular spam troops? So no one was really using the troops. I loved the troops. They were heaps of fun, but if few people are using it, you can't really say it's one of the best events ever. You can see the Giant Thrower here is going to do more amazing stuff. The yellow card was also amazing with this event, but yet again, if no one's using it, you can't really rate the event that highly. Next up, we had the Anime Anniversary event, and this event was heaps of fun, and we're going to put it all the way up in A tier. Supercell really learned from the mistakes they made in the Lunar New Year and the Haaland event here by making both of the troops ridiculously strong. So we have the Broom Witch that you see here and the Mecha troop, an air troop and a ground troop. Neither of them were support units though, which I really liked. They were both straight up awesome troops that could carry the army by themselves, and that's for me what the events are about. You shouldn't really have support troops in an event. I want a troop that's got unique, awesome characteristics and gameplay, such that it probably shouldn't be in the game permanently, but for a short amount of time and a bit of fun, yes. And this event ticked all those boxes for me. Really, the only problem with this event was it was an anniversary event and I was expecting more rewards, but aside from that, big win with this event here. The troops were so much fun to play with. This one might surprise you all. So this sneaky gop here is the mini spotlight event. So it was the farming event that ran last month, and to a lot of us didn't really know it happened, but I'm going to put it all the way up in S tier. The reason this event sits in S tier behind Clash-O-Ween 1.0 for me is this event had a specific goal. Supercell made it clear who they were targeting, and in my opinion, they nailed it. This was all for farmers. If you're Max Town or 16, this event meant nothing to you, but for everyone else in the game who was farming, this event was awesome. Sneaky goblins for free, save that dark elixir, 50% training boost. Yes, the event was only for 6 days, but that was also a good thing. It wasn't like a marathon 3-week event. 6 days, you get 50% training boost, and then you get a whole bunch of resources as well in the free pass. Now, if you wanted to buy the mini event pass, it was cheaper, but it wasn't amazing value, but it didn't need to be. That was just for people who wanted to spend on it. Other than that, I think it was really, really good and definitely helped out people looting game-wide. Next up, we have the Treasure Hunt event, and this for me had the potential to be the best event ever, but I'm going to put it at the end of A tier. The Treasure Hunt event was heaps of fun. Opening chests was oddly satisfying. I loved tapping the screen over and over and getting the rewards for essentially just doing daily gameplay. But there were a few problems with it. This chest here being a good example of it. So it's just a rare chest, but I end up getting starry ore in it, arguably the most valuable thing in the game currently. Whereas I know a lot of you opened legendary chests and were getting flags. So I think Supercell, if they were to run the event again, they need to make the rewards more indicative of what the level is. So a legendary has to be legendary and rare has to be rare. There wasn't a great grading system across the board. On top of that, I think this event struggled in the sense that there's actually only so many rewards people want in game. Have a look at this here, Capital Gold. Very few people want Capital Gold at all, and I know they can't give us all what we want, but the event just ended up feeling like, to me, I was getting common chest after common chest after common chest. I got so many of them. At one stage, out of 30 chests, I've gotten 29 common chests. It just didn't feel like I was getting anything other than commons, and when I got higher ones like rare, I didn't feel like the rewards were that good anyway. Regardless, I still did really enjoy the event. Hopefully they run it again in the future, and hopefully there's no glitches with it at all. And the final event is Clash-O-Ween 2.0, and for me, this goes at the end of B tier. So why do I have Clash-O-Ween 2.0 so far below Clash-O-Ween 1.0? And the reason is simple. One, obviously it was almost the exact same event. So it's never going to be as high. Yes, there was the ice minion this year, but that really wasn't that useful at all, I don't think, except in some lava loon attacks, and even then wasn't really that strong. But B, it was also, last year, it was incredibly difficult to defend, but it felt possible. There were people doing incredible baits and making it possible to stop the Lava Loon. This year, it was straight up impossible to defend. There's nothing you can do when you've got these troops with hero equipment as well. But for me, probably the biggest thing that I did not like about this year's event was the length of it. It was 3 weeks. That is too long. I just got bored by the end of it. I haven't used my clan castle, as you can see here, in about 2 weeks. If I fail an attack, oh well, I'm not pushing up super high. I'm tripling most of the time, but I can't be bothered requesting, donating, none of that. I'm just kind of burnt out with this event. Now, I know a lot of you like this event, so that's why I've got it so high, but honestly, I've barely played the event, there was no point pushing this month, so from a competitive point, it's not that good. I know that doesn't relate to a lot of you, I'm just putting the point out there, but it just wasn't that amazing to play. Our war log has 6 draws in the last 9 wars from perfect ties. So, I mean, what are you meant to do? We're not getting that much starry, or obviously you get really good loots from the event, but I'm not really taking that into account today because I can't remember which events had the best event pass or not. I can just tell you about the troops and how they make me feel, and whilst I do love these troops, the Witch Golem and the Lava Loon are heaps of fun. It was just too easy to 3-star, I think, and I would like to see them make the event troops still stronger than the regular troops, but not to this sort of level. And the real question I have for you all is, if they rerun this event next year, would you like to see the exact same troops, Lava Loon, Hog Wizard, Barcher, and the Witch Golem, or do you want to see new mashup troops? For instance, think of the mashup combinations we could do that are ridiculously OP. Like, imagine if they did an E-Drag Root Rider. It sounds ridiculous, and it probably would be strong, but how can it be any stronger than the current event troops? There are so many troops that you can pick from. You could have a Dragon Rider E-Titan, where the Dragon Rider's got an aura around it, or something like that. There are so many cool concepts you can do, multiple combinations, and I'm kind of sucks that the only mashup event we have seems locked into the same troops year on year. But that's just my opinion. Let me know down in the comments below how wrong I am. I want to hear all your opinions, and I want you to answer this question. If they redo the Cookie Rumble event, because they've redone the Clash-O-Ween event now, if they redo the Cookie Rumble event, would you like to see new troops and spells, or do you still want the Cookie and the Frostmite spell to be the signature part of that event?